I use an analogy, and I'm sure other people have better analogies, but when you go to a river and the river's moving quickly, then you notice that there doesn't tend to be a lot of mud caking up on the sides of the river. But sometimes if there's a little outpouching or if the river is moving really slowly, there's a lot of mud on the riverbank. Well, the same thing can happen in your heart, where one of your chambers, the top chamber called the atrium, which gets the blood back from the lungs and then passes it on to the main pumping chamber. So that top chamber is called the atrium. And if it isn't contracting effectively, if it's just sort of what we call fibrillating, but not doing an active contraction, then the same thing can happen, and you can form a clot there. Now, the concern about that is if the clot breaks off and travels up to the brain, it can cause a stroke. And these strokes don't tend to be little strokes. Everybody knows people who've had strokes and they go about their business. It's not a big deal. These tend to be big strokes that people are left with a lot of disability. They can not be able to walk well or talk well, etc. So these are big strokes, and we want to prevent them. So we can prevent them if people have risk factors for developing a stroke by putting them on blood thinners. And it's important that they have a dialogue. You have a dialogue with your physician about whether you're the person who's at risk of going on to develop a stroke. Not every patient with atrial fibrillation develops a stroke. It's about 5 times more likely a patient will. But there are people who have atrial fibrillation their entire life. It doesn't bother them. They just, it's an annoyance, but they don't end up going on to have serious complications from it. But it's important to check in with your doctor about whether you're the person who is at increased risk of having complications.